Now before I jump into the customs guide, I want to thank Sakrana and Forte or Fort for creating the You Can Work on Custom Epics guide, alongside Meng's custom epic guide from the 80% DFO Discord. I also like to extend my thanks to the members of the 80% DFO Discord for helping me along my custom building, as they've helped me significantly in my own progression. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll just be going through how to roll and read customs. It will be a very basic guide and extremely simple, but I hope this will give everyone just a little bit more confidence to get started on the customs. Also, this guide is just a little bit rushed because I didn't want the video to be too long, so just hopefully you'll be able to understand it and enjoy. And if anyone has any questions, just leave a comment or message me on Discord or on Reddit. Works either way. So yeah, here we go. So before we get into rolling lines, there are some general rules that you can remember to make it easier for yourself. Number one is that offensive options are king. The reason why you want to swap to customs is because they help you do more damage, so it makes no sense to keep defensive options. Number two is that skill attack, or what is now known as is overall damage, is the number one option, or the other two, which are DV, also now known as attack percent, and elemental damage. The reason being is that these two different options have a scaling which suffer from diminishing returns, meaning as you gain more, the harder it is to increase further, whereas overall damage just increases your damage total regardless of how much you already have, which just means it scales better. Number three is that if you're rolling for customs, a bare minimum is to settle for a 3-4, nothing less, as anything less means it's not worth using over a fixed epic. Ideally though, try to push for a 4 out of 4, but worst come to worst, there are certain slots you can settle with a 3 out of 4. And just as a quick reminder, customs are build specific. What I mean by this is that certain builds do prefer certain customs, as they're allowed to roll for very specific lines. While there are general customs for certain slots, armor slots are typically based on the build and class, so double check and read carefully what lines you're rolling. And outside of that, I'm just going to very quickly show you what each slot as a bare minimum should roll. These are just suggestions based on my own opinion, so if anyone disagrees, please let me know so I can understand customs better as well. But as you can see here, armor slots are pretty okay to roll early on, as most of them are just, I say, can roll as a 3 out of 4, besides shoes, because shoes are just really strong as fixed. While accessories, as you can see on the right hand side there, mostly requires a 4 out of 4 or 3.5 out of 4 to roll, because they're just really strong when they're fixed epics. So I suggest rolling armors into accessories, but that's just how I usually do it. If anyone disagrees, please let me know. But yeah, as you can see, 3/4s for armors and then 4 4 3.5s. So hey guys, welcome to the rolling portion of the video. I am re-recording this portion because with the update I can't really use some of the older footage because the lines just don't make sense and I don't want to confuse you guys, so I'll just be redoing this. The piece we're going to be rolling today is going to be the Forest Witch ring. Once again, the ring is really strong, really nice because of the 30% cooldown. So I'll just begin to explain my process very quickly. As you can see here, I have 4 rings. This is because typically you can use up to 2 or 3. I like to have 4 because it just gives me options, because ideally you're probably not going to roll a perfect 4 or 4. If you do, that's great. However, more than likely you're probably going to be transferring lines over. Now to transfer lines over, you need to have the line on a different piece. So to do that, I'm going to be rolling the lines I'm going to be looking for on the piece as a separate piece, and then transferring it over once I get like a 2-3 or 3-3 or 3-4, sorry. Note that I only have about 49 cubes, so it's not going to be much. Hopefully we do land a line so I can show you, but at the same time I'll be showing you how to read the lines so that you can understand which lines is bad, which lines are good. I will point out a note that I am rolling the ring slot after I finish rolling the belt, the bottom, the shoulders, and the top. The reason why I don't have this top equipped right now is because I need to transfer, or I need to replace all these slots here for now, and then I can have my bracelet here. So just taking time to slowly transfer over. However, these pieces are universal in my opinion. That's why I can equip them now. That's why I rolled them first. The ring as well is universal, necklace as well, sub-equip, technically all of them are universal. It's just I like to roll it in this order because these 3 slots are incredibly hard to roll for. That's why I'm doing the ring now. I'm going to stop yapping and start rolling, so here we go. So if you didn't know already, the ring provides a 30% CDR, which is really nice, really good. So that's going to be the first time we're going to be looking for. Hopefully we'll land it early, and if not, then unlucky. So as you can see here, just to give you a quick reminder that lines, damage is good, defenses is bad, and utility options like these are also bad. So option 1 is okay, it's not the greatest, it's only 2% damage unless you are fighting against human enemies, in which case it's a 7. Option 2 is bad because it's light resistance. Option 3, inventory, that's completely worthless. Option 4 is actually okay. It is a attack increase, which means this is a DV line alongside a status duration, which is okay, but not the greatest. So we're gonna keep rolling. That's okay to use. So option 1, once again, same line as before, pretty much not the greatest. Option 3 is okay if you're running bleed. However, this ring itself, the 4 options, isn't the greatest because you want the cooldown line and you want the another cooldown line, excuse me. Option 2 is okay to run if you want to avoid using specific shoes, or if you want to avoid using potions, or if you want to avoid using the Spirazi weapon to activate the condition, which hopefully the line will be on screen now so you understand why there's a condition there. So option 4 once again is okay, it's not the greatest, but we're gonna try to get better lines. Just bad, 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 okay. Not the greatest, but it's okay. Once again, pretty bad lines. This is okay if you're running 4 ABN, so 4 abnormal statuses. That's just a normal DV line. And then option 1 and 3 are just bad lines in general. Let's see. It's basically the same ring, not the greatest. That's all the event cubes. So here we are. Bad. Oh, okay. LE damage, shadow damage. Okay, so I'm actually gonna pause it here and explain it in post because I can explain it better now. Now this ring is technically a 4/4, which is why you see the question mark. Now, while all these lines are extremely viable and usable, ideally for a 4 switch ring, you want to roll both these inherent lines you see on the right on a single ring and then use it. Does that mean this ring is unusable? Not really. This just means that I have to choose which line to replace with the number 1 line, the 30% cooldown line, because that line is actually priority when you're rolling rings. So if I were to use this ring, I would have to transfer that over and then I have to pick one. Now, actually choose which line to replace. Option 1 I'm keeping because it just has a higher base attack percent, meaning it has a high base DV from before, but that's not relevant now. Alongside option 2, I'm keeping it because once again, it has a higher base attack increase when compared to option 4, which is the more specific lines. Now, to choose between either replacing option 3 or 4, it depends. From memory, don't quote me on this, but if anyone has a clearer understanding, please let me know. But I think from memory, it depends on which one you have more. And if your elemental damage for a specific element that you are using is at 400 or more, I believe you start taking the attack increase. Otherwise, it doesn't matter for now and it's up to you. In my opinion, in this scenario, I'll replace the shadow damage because it locks me into rolling stacking shadow damage, in which case all my other pieces that I'll roll in the future would need to have either shadow damage or LE damage, which can just be a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's something small that you may or may not notice. However, once again, it's completely up to you. So I hope this helped clear up some ideas on rolling for now. I'll actually skip on the other rollings part because I don't get anything good to show and move on to showing you specific 3/4s and explain why they're good and why they're not good. And maybe that will just give you more of an idea. So just very quickly, I'll be showing you some examples of certain pieces that might be good or might not be good, and just let you know how it looks like, because sometimes the game will shine a custom piece of gear and you might think, oh my god, it's a really good piece. However, it can just be a complete meme and just really bad. So I'll just show you some pieces now. So for example, this here first is the 4 switch basket on the left here. You can see that option 1 is shadow damage plus 20, option 2 is overall damage plus 5%, option 3 overall damage plus 5%, option 4 overall damage plus 5% again. Now, is this a mean piece? Absolutely not. This is a beautiful 3 out of 4 sub equipment that is absolutely usable as long as you put on another plus 5% overall damage on option 1. In its current state, it is also usable. However, the best case scenario is that you replace option 1 with overall damage plus 5%, which just means this will be a perfect 4/4. As a matter of fact, if I were to replace option 1, it would be better than my current piece right now. Because as you can see on my current piece, it has the fire damage plus 20% alongside the 3 other overall damage lines. The reason why it will be better is because, once again, overall damage doesn't suffer from diminishing return scaling, so it would just be a better piece in general. So hopefully that will just give you understanding. Once again, reminder guys, just very quickly, slots, the sub-equipment, the earring, and the magic stone slot, the only ideal line you want to run is the overall damage plus 5% line. The best case scenario is that you want to hunt down those pieces. As you can see, the earring has a plus 6% line. It's really good, really nice. That's why I run the deep dive earring. On M stone, you can see that the exception is actually option 2 there, which is the overall damage plus 8%, which is why you run the deep diver mask custom option, because it has that 8% line instead of the 5% line, which just means you get the extra 3% more. So once again, these 3 slots hunt down for overall damage. The armor slots here, it's more pedantic, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm using that word right, but it's more so you're looking for a bit of utility but also a bit of damage, because you want damage everywhere. Customs is damage. That's all you only want. You don't want anything else but damage. I'm getting sidetracked and we'll get back to it. So next is this earring here. As you can see, 1 is 5%, 2 is 6%, 3 is burn damage plus 5%, option 4 is all elite plus 20 damage. So in its current form, it's not usable because Earring's just too strong. However, if you replace option 3 with another 5%, it's okay. You can get by with it because it's a 3.5 at that point. Because on Earrings, any line that is not a 5% line scales, or actually in my eyes is a 0.5, not a 1. That's just how I would rate it and how I would rate different lines on different equipments. If that option 4 was on a armor piece, it would be a complete 1. However, in the case of Earrings, sub-equipment, Magic Stone, it's a 0.5. Solely because overall damage is just that good. And then you see this belt here right now. It's shining, it's good. If this were to drop in the game, it would shine red, it'd be nice. But if you look into it, it's completely horrible. A DD belt with 3 elemental damage lines. It's not the greatest at all because, once again, with belts, the most popular option is the Forest Witch belt, as you can see on the right here. You want all the overall damage lines, you want the cooldown lines, and you want the DV lines. So this belt, the Deep Diver belt, is completely terrible. Just melt this away for boundary fragments. And yeah, just make sure you understand that certain slots have better options, and also with those options, there are better lines. And then with different slots, so armor compared to accessories, different lines can be rated differently. In my opinion, at least, different lines can be rated differently. So LE lines on the right slots here, 0.5, but on the left here, probably a 1, right? Depending on the piece you're rolling. So let's move on to this ring here very quickly. Light damage plus 20, okay, it's not bad. Overall damage was 2%, overall damage was 5%, and not the greatest because it's split and it's very conditional, very specific as well, not the greatest. Shock plus 10%, that's okay. And then option 4 is the overall damage plus 5%, 75 cooldown recovery plus 15%. So I would rate this about a 2.5, closer to a 2, mostly because option 4 is a 1, option 2 is completely dead. Option 3 you can get by, not the idealist, unless you're running shock of course, then you technically can get by. However, option 1 in this case is a 0.5 and it's not even the greatest as well. So technically this is a 1.5 because I rated the shock option as a 1 or a 0.5. So disregard that. If it's not building shock, it'd be a 0, 2 is a 0, 1 is a 0.5, 4 is a 1, so this would be a 1.5. So unless you're running shock and light damage, you can basically disregard something like this. If you are running light and shock, you can put on the cooldown line on 2, and I think at that point it's okay. However, I'm not too sure with the status conversion how the damage scales differently, so I can't really confirm on that. You might have to ask other people for that, apologies. And then next we'll show you is a blue pirate ring. So blue pirate ring is another option to the Force Witch ring if you don't need cooldown. Main reason why it's option 2, Clay Cube Fragment skill attack plus 8% is massive, is really good. And option 1, if you read quickly, it's completely dead. Option 4 is shock, so unless you're running shock, it's dead. Option 3 is just a attack increase line in general, so it's really nice, not bad, usable. And overall, this is a 2 out of 4. Once again, defensive options, bad. Status options, only if you're running status, otherwise it's bad. 2 and 3, 1 each, 2 out of 4. And that will be that. I'll do a quick summary now just to refresh your mind just in case. So once again, damage is what you want. Disregard any defensive options unless it gives you damage, then it's good, such as an example like this. Otherwise, damage, damage, damage. Second is to prioritize overall damage over LA attack or attack increase, just the scaling is better on overall damage. Number 3 and the final one is basically never settle for less than 3 out of 4, and on certain slots, not less than 4 out of 4. Also, the final one is that there are reasons why certain epics are chosen for certain builds. Double check that on the Holy Custom Bible, the You Can Work on Custom document, and refer to it when making your own customs. Outside of that, I hope this video gave you guys some confidence to start working on your customs. As far as the Sion Cap will keep feeding you more and more resources to work on them, and I would love to see people have confidence to start working on them and rolling on them to improve their own damage. I didn't want this video to be too long, so there's a lot more things I didn't explain or cover, but I hope I covered enough of the basics so that you have confidence into starting your own. So this will be it for all, and once again guys, big shout out to Sikrana, Forte, and the 80% DFO Discord. A lot of what I've done here and learned is based on the documents and resources they've gathered and help from them. So I just really love to acknowledge the help they've given me. And all I've done is read it, experienced it for myself, and now I'm just trying to help others. So let me know if you guys have any other questions, and I'll try my best to answer and help you guys. Thanks guys, see you guys in the next video.